Well, good morning. Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Everardo Resendiz. People know me around here as Coach Ever. I'm a certified executive and business coach with Action Coach in Northwest Louisiana. Today I have Meagan Moton with MXRS as my guest today. And so we're going to be talking about her business, the journey that she has pursued in business ownership, challenges, best practices. We're gonna take a look, a peek under the hood to see what it really is like to operate and run a business, right? So,
Yes, we are.
if this is your first time in the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop a new video just like this one. And so, Megan, thank you for being here today. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
Would you mind sharing with our audience a brief overview of the background of your business and what it does?
I purchased the business about 5.5 years ago, but it was started in 1984 by another lady who was an X-ray technologist. And we are a mobile imaging business. So we do all types of radiology imaging mobile. We go to hospitals, rehab programs. We go to patients' bedside in their homes, so home health patients, hospice patients. We do a lot of prison work. So we go to the patient with their radiology needs.
So whether it is in a specific location, because they cannot leave it, for whatever reason, that's when you come in. You bring that service to them.
We do, yes. We also
Okay.
contract with facilities that don't have their own radiology departments. And so we pick up and are their radiology department.
That's awesome. And
Mhm.
so, set the stage for the viewers, the listeners. What does it look like? The ownership, the structure of the business? Is it only you? Do you have partners in it?
So it's a female owned business and it is just me.
No outside investors.
No outside
That
investors.
takes courage. Good for you.
Well, I did I bought the business I ran the business for a few years prior to purchasing. And so I did owner financing. So I did not have to have outside investors.
Yeah. As you move through, though, to grow, right?
Mhm.
There are some new technologies, new equipment, new things that you need to be accounting for, and so the idea is that you can fund it through the work that you do, right?
Yes. Yes, that's the idea. I would love to pay cash for everything.
Right?
I
Don't we
told
all?
somebody was trying to sell me something the other day, and I said, "Oh, I'm not wanting to finance anything else. I'm only paying cash, so I can't buy that today."
There you go. And so, a little bit about the role that you have in the business. What is it like nowadays?
Well, I used to be like all the day-to-day activity, but during COVID, I kind of changed my management style and gave more responsibilities to my employees. And I have an administrator. So she handles a lot of the day-to-day business, like scheduling of the employees. She does some of our billing. She handles uh, problems that she can handle. And then if it's something she can't handle, she escalates it to me. But I do some of our state contracting billing. That's one of the biggest things. And then I do our bookkeeping. I have a bookkeeper, but I do like our financial stuff.
Right, right. The
But
overview
basically
of
not bookkeeping. I do more financial stuff and focus on the growth of the business.
very good. And so, when you look at the role and what you're doing, uh, about how many hours a week do you spend working on your business?
About Well, that's tough. Some weeks are more than others. And sometimes it requires nights and weekends, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends if there's a problem at a facility. But I'm always available, but I'd say I spend a good 30 hours a week, sometimes more,
And what
sometimes
about
less.
in the business?
in the business, like going to the business. I go every day. It just depends on what I have going on. Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
there from 8 to 5. Sometimes I'm there from 8 to 2.
Oh wow. Okay. So that makes your week. It could be somewhere between 50 and it's okay.
My dog's barking.
Hey, we have those everywhere. It's fine. It's all
Okay,
part of it. You know what I mean?
okay.
You
I just
know,
didn't know if you could hear me. Uh,
I can. No, what I was saying is that, if you add it up together, the time that you go and you work in the office and do things not day to day, and then the time that you spend outside of it, you could be easily talking about 50 to 60 hours a week. You know what I mean?
oh yes, yes, yes. And there's
Okay.
also a lot of, a lot of stuff I do like that I wouldn't count as hours that I do daily, but I mean, it could be considered hours working on the business. Yeah.
And so let's move on to what makes your business so special. Like who do you serve, right? You told me you have these facilities that you provide these services to, right? Um, if I was looking for somebody like you, how will I know that you're a good fit for my serve for what I need?
Well, okay, we have to have a lot of certifications to be because we're a Medicare provider and then we're also a state contractor. So that one being said is how they find us is we have to have all these certifications and they know we're equipped. Our technologists have to have certain certifications. But being in the service, we the lady who started my business started it in 1984 and I've owned mine for 6 years. So we get a lot of our business from word of mouth because we have such a good reputation of taking care of our clients. We go above and beyond. Um, we put the patient first. It's not all about just making a quick dollar. We put sometimes it's costly to put the patient first, but it's the right thing to do. That's, part of our company. Everybody knows that I prefer, to do the right thing and the ethical thing over anything else and to take care of the patient. And I think that pays off. And anybody that's very few of our clients switch, but if they do switch to somebody else, they quickly come back because they're not taken care of the way that we take care of them.
So it's a lot on the service and how you provide your service.
Yes. Yes.
All
Because
right.
there's other businesses that can do what we do, but we focus on what's right for the patient.
Very good. Very good. And so what's one thing that you wish more people knew that need your services or use your services that you wish that they knew about your
Well,
business?
for instance, a lot of people don't know there's such a service that exists in the community. I mean, people that use us know that we exist, but you'd be surprised. So I changed when I bought my business. Um, she primarily focused on nursing home patients. And for growth, I kind of changed my strategy for that when I bought the business to focus on a lot. I still do nursing home and rehabs and prisons, but to do a lot of the home health and hospice patients. And there are still small home health companies that don't know about our business. I try to go out and see as many as possible, but there's always new ones popping up or they're changing ownership. And so I just wish like the surrounding areas, even in the small rural areas, that all of them knew that we existed and that we can go into the patient's home and do these services and that their
Gotcha.
insurance will pay for it.
Right. And so that almost leads me straight into the next question, which is, marketing.
Marketing. I do mainly all of our marketing. And so I run out of time. I also, it depends on if I'm focusing in the business or on the business that day, what I
Right?
have time to do. Yes. Yes.
It's one of the many hats that you get to wear.
Yes. Yes.
Now the question is it a big hat or a small one?
It's big.
Well, let me perhaps put this in perspective. I know that what you have expressed thus far is that a lot of these going out and making those connections and finding these hubs where people can find about you. That's on you. You do these, right?
Mhm.
Um, the reality is that a lot of the people that provide these services, home health, there's a lot of them around here, right?
Mhm.
They can change almost by the month. There's new ones added. There's people that leave the business, and so um, it must be hard to pin down who will it make sense for you to go and spend time with,
That
right?
yes, that is a challenge.
Okay. Um, do you do any sort of leverage means to advertise? Maybe social media or radio, television, any of those
No,
things?
I don't. I don't do any marketing like that. Um, Primarily because it's such a niche and there's
Yeah.
only so many people that are going to use this. Now there is an area I'd like to grow into that I think that would, uh, be advantageous to do some marketing. And that is like the occupational health side to where we can go and x-ray employees. Say they have exposures to sand every day and they need a yearly x-ray required by OSHA. Um, that is something that we want to get into. However, we have not, well, it's kind of a catch 22. Like we have not spent a ton of time trying to market to that because we also, since COVID, have had a struggle with HR, like with having enough employees to go and see the patients we have and give them the best customer service. It's kind of hard to branch out a little bit, but it's
Well,
getting better.
I mean, we have talked about this before. It's very real that there's a difficulty. I don't want to say a shortage, but there's a difficulty in finding the right people. They're out
Mm,
there. They have been there, right? They may
mm.
be in the wrong jobs, but they are out there, right? And so, how do you go about bringing new people on board?
So we've tried several different things. We've tried Indeed, we've tried staffing agencies. There's really not a local staffing agency that provides x-ray techs. Um, so uh, the thing that has worked the best are x-ray techs that I have that work for me, that work at other hospitals as well. We have a lot of part-time staff that work two jobs. So if I have an employee that works at a hospital in our area, they'll say, okay, we're looking for some new staff at this other company I work for part-time. And it's a great part-time position. And the hospitals after or during COVID had such a shortage that they were taking up everyone. And
Right.
nobody really needed a second job because they were using them so much for overtime. Now that has calmed down. So there is more people in the area that are looking for second jobs. And I'm seeing that more and more. Like this year, I've really had a better pool of people to pull from. I've actually even had some people that left right after COVID and thought they wanted to go to the hospitals that have come back to us as well. But so I'd say my best source are my employees.
And so, what makes it so attractive for them, other than it is additional income, right?
We
Why?
pay
Well, yeah, excellent. That's why I'm asking.
we pay really well. I have to be very competitive with my pay rate to get them to come. It is a good job, even for CT techs. This is just a little background, but an X-ray tech then becomes a CT tech, so they can go back and do. They still are certified to do X-rays, even if they're doing CAT scans in the hospital. So it's a good. It's a good. There's not many other jobs that they can do for a second job. So it's a good, I pay well, and it's a good second job for X-ray techs.
So, what I'm hearing is that it recently you've seen a better um crop of people coming through that are
Yes, yes.
interested in the additional income. Maybe that inflation thing is pushing that in that direction. But but it is a money proposition. Now you said that it's the majority is like a second job type part time. Do you still need full time people that
Oh,
only work
yes.
for you?
Yes, yes. I have full-time staff, and currently we're considering hiring another full-time person. Um, and it'll possibly be one of the people that works part-time for us.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mhm.
So, you've been at these running it yourself on your own for the past 6 years. What's your leadership style in the business? How has it changed over the years?
Okay, so I used to try to do too much myself. And after COVID, for personal reasons, I could not be in the office. And I delegated to my administrator more and more things. And it really changed the way I managed. I freed up more time for myself to work in the business, not on the business. Even today, if I show up and she wants to start giving me some of the problems she can solve, I'm like, I can't today. I'm working on this. I have assigned this task to myself. Like was working on a contract the other day, a government contract. She kept wanting to interrupt me and ask me for questions. And I said, Jennifer, I can't do that today. That's not my job. That's not my hat today. So I have I have learned to focus on the business a lot more than I used to, which has really helped for our growth.
Right,
I,
absolutely.
I, I've also gotten we've taken the company to places that I never imagined we would. We've picked up totally different lines of service that I never thought imaginable, and it just maybe I just needed the time of COVID to think for a minute, but it really has changed my leadership style.
Can you
Not everybody
imagine?
comes to me anymore. They go straight to Jennifer, my administrator, and if there is something they can't solve or do, then they'll come to me. But they're pretty capable of solving most issues they have.
Right. Well, can you imagine what will have happened or where will you be today if you were not forced into that situation?
Mm. Oh, yes, I know. Well, I already had ideas that I was going to branch out and do a few other things, but it would have taken a lot longer, I think, to do.
Right. Okay.
And there would have been way more struggle. So, not many people say they were blessed to have COVID. I think my business personally, we did struggle financially, but for what I was able to do and the changes I was able to make, that was our blessing.
Love it. Okay. So we spent some time focusing on the business and sharing some of these things with the audience. I'd like to dive back a little bit, take a step back and dive back into the journey a little bit more. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so you are working for this business, the opportunity comes along for you to go in and take over and buy it, right?
Mhm.
Um, it's quite a change, it's quite a transition. What pushed you into that? Why did you choose to go that route rather than maybe go out and find another job that will pay you and give you stability?
So, I had I really knew this business inside and out. I basically did everything from the top. I knew how to do every task except take an X-ray. From the top to the bottom, I really, if I was going to consider purchasing it, I wanted to know everything about the business. And the owner had been asking me for like 2 years to purchase. She was ready to retire. The biggest concern was growth. How was I going to grow it further than where it was at the current time, because the cash flow was not great. It was not doing great. Um, and we had a big competitor that had taken some of the bigger nursing home groups that we were not going to get back due to the type of partnership they had with these nursing home groups. It just was not a market we could go back into um, and get that business back. And so I I for a solid year or more told her I wanted to, take over all responsibility of everything and see what I could do for the business, see how I could grow it. And I figured out ways, and I figured out, there were ways to reduce costs, and there was also ways to grow it. And that's when I finally decided I would purchase it. But it was not an easy overnight decision.
All right. Well, you did mention COVID as one of those, let's call it pivoting points for your business. Um, is there any other time in your development as a business owner that you have had, a roadblock or hurdle that you needed that you were challenged with and you had to overcome?
Uh, well, I know I keep saying COVID, but I said earlier it was a blessing. The challenges with COVID that came were big challenges, like I kind of previously mentioned, with staffing, and it was our because we were going into patients' homes, people were really scared to have people in their homes. So our patient load decreased drastically. And this wasn't just a problem we had. I also am part of was on the board of an association that's the National Association for Mobile Imaging. And this was happening all across the nation. But um, so like our business halved in 1 year. We were having the best year we've ever had, and then COVID hit, and and it also wasn't just us going into the patients' homes. People were wanting to stay home and take care of their loved ones, so they weren't having like home health even come in. They would take their loved ones to like an urgent care, or so that was a huge challenge to overcome
Right, right.
financially.
And so I mean we're what barely 4 years away from these now, maybe three
Hmm.
and some change. And and we start to forget, but it was a time in which lots and lots of people just were completely
Hmm.
negated to the possibility of having contact with others for a
Hmm.
good bit right there, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it passed, but it took some time
I'd
for it
say
to go
our
back.
upswing didn't start happening until last year, 2023. Like we
There you go.
started getting back on track and starting to see growth with that
Wow.
side of our business, with the X-ray side of our business.
So what did that force you to do? How do you maintain or increase your profitability?
Well, I found another line of business to do. Actually, I didn't uh, foresee that our current line of business was going to catch back up fastly. Like I knew it was going to take time. I knew it was going to get back to where it was, but there really wasn't much I could personally do to make that grow any faster. So I started researching other lines of business that coincided, that was similar to what we already do, but different. And so um, I did a lot of research on it, and then a government contract came across my desk, and I'd already done all the research, and I was about to pull the plug on doing it for other types of like for hospitals and such. And so I was kind of ready when it came across my desk to be able to bid on this contract because I'd done all the research.
Wow. It's amazing to hear how, we are forced by these challenging conditions into really diving into areas that we wouldn't have looked otherwise. And
And
so,
I
and the worst
knew,
part is that the results are great. And we see that and we're like, how come I didn't see that before?
well, I did. I knew when I bought the business that once I get comfortable and used to owning the business, running the business as the owner, because that presents challenges too when you work in a business and then you become the business owner. There's a few challenges there as well. So once I was able to overcome all that, I did want another line of business. It just forced me faster to do it. It just made me do it faster, which was really good.
There you go. Outstanding. Okay. So, what does the future look like for you? I mean, what's the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, we there's On our x-ray side, we would really like to grow and branch out into the occupational health market, to where we go to job sites and do x-rays that are required by OSHA. That could be fire departments, sand plants, anything where the employees exposed to silica. So it's just a safety protocol for these businesses to have x-rays on file to show that, this is what their lungs look like today, this is what it looked like the next year, and if there is a
Oh, okay.
problem, they will go get treatment for it, but it's a safety protocol. So we'd really on the x-ray side like to do that. And then on our other imaging side, I'd like to get a few more machines for CT and MRI, and find a few more government accounts for that.
Good. And so, what has been your approach to goal setting? How do you go about defining where your business is going?
Well, this is another growth thing, internal growth, is my husband and he is a banker, so he's really good with financials. I'm good with financials, but we now we used to try to talk about it, and that just was not happening. You've
You
got too
used
many
to, I'm
things.
sorry, what was that again? You
We
used
used
to
to
what?
try to discuss the business, set goals, have important talks at home, and it just
Yeah.
never went well. We never got anywhere. Kids were always interrupting. And so it's a business. And so we need to treat it like a business. So quarterly, we have a meeting that is on both of our calendars at my office. And he comes to my office and we have a quarterly meeting and set goals. Some of them are that next quarter, the year. We even have goals for 3 years out. So um, that's how we do it now.
That is excellent. And hence why you have so much success in what you're doing. I
Well,
know it's
and as an individual business owner I own this business by myself. There's nobody else to say good job or that's a great idea. And so it's good to have someone else, even with financial sense, come in, whether if you don't have a husband or a spouse that can do this, to have somebody come in and say, yeah, those are great ideas. And you're headed in the right direction.
yes, you
So you're
are.
not on the
Okay.
island alone.
And that's the thing that you if you're in business, you have to surround yourself with the kind of people that will actually lift you up rather than put you down. Because you can
For
always
sure.
find a lot of naysayers along the way.
Oh, yes, you can.
And so we covered a lot of ground in the conversation today. For those people who are watching, I highly encourage you to come back and rewatch these. There's a lot of great nuggets here. As we begin to wrap up, Megan, I have a few rapid fire questions. Okay, so these are quick top of head answers. Okay,
Okay, I
um,
hope I do
I
well.
may I may ask for some clarification because some people just say a word and I'm like, okay, you may need
You
to
need more.
explain that a little bit. And so, number one, what's the key to success to you?
Consistency to keep at it. There's days that you don't want to do it. It's hard. It's not easy, but you have to be consistent and just keep doing, keep plugging away because things that you can't even imagine come up and that are good things that take you to the next place. So if you're consistent and keeping working on the business, then uh, I think that's been my biggest key to success. And
Very good.
it would help others.
Very good. What is your one piece of advice for other business owners?
To surround yourself with other business owners. So these struggles aren't just what's happening in your business. And you can I may have this struggle and the other business owner does not. So I can get ideas from them on how to fix my problems. I can give ideas to other business owners, but it's so valuable. And I did not do this in the beginning because I was working in the business, not on the business. But I think highly recommend people should find groups of other business owners to meet with regularly to talk out these problems that come up.
Love it. So mastermind it as much as you can.
Mhm.
Very good. So, what's one book that you're reading right now, or that you have read most recently, or that you want to recommend to people get a hold of?
Well, I'm bad about reading motivational books, so it's not one of those. I read the Bible every day, but recently, what I recently read, the most fun we've ever had, which is a fictional novel.
Oh, there you go. All right.
I read serious stuff all the time. I'm reading all these contracts to bid on. I like something light to read.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir here. I do try to keep a balance of one business book and one, let's say, entertaining book. In the mean, so I'm not always one way or the other.
Well, maybe I
And
need to add that to my goals. Pick a business book and then a fun book.
I mean, to me, it's
However,
like,
the Bible's good. The Bible is always needed every morning for a
yeah, I mean,
business owner.
you have to do it, right? But this is more like, coffee tasters or people who taste wine. They need a cleanser after each taste. So I do my
Okay.
business book and I do the entertainment for a cleanser, and then I go back to another business book.
Okay.
So I have a
All
list of
right.
about 7 books to read at any given time.
Well, maybe you can give me those lists.
I'll be happy to, Megan. I'll be happy to.
Okay. I can give
So,
you I can give you any fictional crime books or any of that if you need those.
all right. If you have to choose one area of your business that you could immediately improve tomorrow, like you had a magic wand and you said this will be fixed tomorrow, what will that be?
That would be staffing.
Yeah. Okay. I got that.
I'm really good at marketing and growth.
Yeah.
I said it is hard to do some of it, but some of it is only hard because of staffing. So staffing.
Okay. So before we get into the final question of the day, I'm sure that some people will probably like to find out a little bit more. Maybe some of your potential customers will be listening to these. And so, how can they get in touch with you? How can they find out about your company?
Okay, well, I have a website, completemobileimaging.com. They can also call our office, which is 318-687-6861, and ask for Meagan Moton.
All right. Well, any social media, Facebook or Instagram or any of that?
No, we
Not
don't
yet?
do it. I
Okay.
mean,
All right.
we have an X-ray social media page, but it really hasn't led us anywhere. My website has helped us a lot.
Yeah.
I just started that last year.
Very good. So you have seen already results from doing that.
Mhm.
That's excellent. Okay. So what's most inspiring to you today?
I will say for my business, what has inspired me the most recently is our small group that we've recently done with other business owners, with you, that we've had a monthly roundtable to go around and talk out different issues or things for business to get ideas for my business. Like that has inspired each month, it inspires me to do something different. So I would say for my business, that is the most inspiring thing I've done recently.
Excellent. Well, thank you
Or
very
what's the
much,
proper
Megan.
name? What is the proper name of our roundtable that we've done?
It's a CEO roundtable.
CEO roundtable. Yes.
Excellent, Megan. Well, thank you very much for your time today and for sharing your knowledge and your expertise with all these people. I look forward to seeing you soon too.
Okay. Thank you.